Good morning, everyone. Am I audible? Good morning. So I was listening to the high-level panel arranged by Mr. Ajay, and it was very interesting to see that how different companies in our chemical industry are gearing up to become more and more better and more resilient in the way we are moving our chemicals. Because at the end of the day, every industry, whether we call it construction industry or aviation industry, eventually it does require chemicals, and how we move our chemicals becomes more and more important because as the population grows, the risks keep increasing on this particular subject day by day. So many years ago, we decided that how can we solve this issue, and here we are. So I just want to ask a quick question that how many of you in this room who are representing a chemical manufacturing space or chemical logistics space have had a shipment delayed, not because of your issues or demand or production or anything like that, but because the right equipment was not available, or the right supplier was not available, or the compliance was not available? Yeah, I can see many hands up here, right? Because it's a day-to-day challenge, it's a day-to-day issue. And addressing this challenge on a day-to-day basis is exactly our job, because supply chain is not something that is written in a book and you follow it verbatim. You experience it every day, you feel it every day, and you improve every day. That's liquid logistics. Today in India, we are approximately a $300 billion industry. We are the 6th largest chemical industry in the world. And yet, some of our critical cargoes still moves on equipments and systems that are outdated, completely outdated. We are using trucks, we are using road tankers. I'm not saying they are outdated equipment, but the quality of equipment, the age of equipment, the suppliers, their compliance is completely outdated. So this is something that is really shocking. Today, I want to talk about what it actually takes to reimagine liquid logistics. What if India wants to create an impression on the world map, and we want to become one of the best supply chain countries in the world? Then how do we reimagine the liquid logistics is exactly what is our goal today. And this cannot be done in theory. We have all the theory, we have all the rules, we have all the regulations, we have all the compliance bodies in the world, right? But it cannot be done in theory. How can it be done in practice, on the road, on the rail, on sea, is what is important. We are seeing that today we are a $300 billion industry, but in about 5 years from now, we will be around $400 billion. From rank 6, we would be around rank 4 in the chemical logistics space. Our chemical industry and manufacturing is 80% of that is concentrated in Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Andhra Pradesh. I'm sure most of you sitting in this room are having most of their plants and facilities in these areas. And the consumption is happening throughout the country. Consumption is happening in center of India, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, also towards the eastern side of India, where there is not much manufacturing. So what does this mean? This means that most of the cargo is moving across the country by road, by rail. Every shipment is a multi-stage operation, a multi-stakeholder operation, right? From your factory to the border of Maharashtra, maybe transporter A is handling your cargo. Then from Maharashtra to maybe the east of India, the cargo is moving by rail. So then again, a rail operator is handling your cargo. Then again, the last mile is handled by a road operator, So multi-stakeholder operation. The operational reality is much harder. You must have all seen in the news 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, we had a propylene tanker which was toppled on Mumbai-Pune Expressway. So only few days after that, another similar tanker again toppled. 2 incidences, same cargo, same chemical, same highway, and same equipment. So this is happening regularly. If we are reading ICC magazine, every month the ICC magazine is coming out with a list of accidents, right? We should go through that and see what are the kind of accidents that are happening and how we can improve our compliance. So eventually, this is not as just a theoretical risk. This eventually becomes what supply chain is a risk every day, and how we address these kind of risks. So there are some of the complexity in liquid logistics. There are multiple transport modes: road, rail, sea, drums, diverse cargo types. We have hazardous, we have non-hazardous, we have corrosive cargos, we have cryogenic cargos, all different equipments at different stages. Sometimes we are using road tankers, sometimes we are using ISO tankers, sometimes we are using drums, sometimes we are using IBCs, we are using flexis. So every company, every person, every supply chain officer has a different strategy, and every strategy has its own risk. Every interface between one mode and another point of risk, a point of delay, is a point where we add cost apart from risk as well. So the question is, eventually, if more interfaces are adding more risk and more cost, eventually the question boils down to, can we reduce the number of interfaces where all the touch points where the cargo is moving? Can we simplify the system without compromising on cost, without compromising on safety, and without compromising on any compliance in chemical logistics? And the answer is yes. So today we are going to talk about one such solution where we are bringing a particular product which is called an ISO tank container. I'm sure most of you in the room who are dealing with chemical logistics have heard, seen, or at least experienced this particular tank container. What makes the ISO tank so powerful is one word: standardization. Right? This one equipment can be put on road, can be put on rail, and the same equipment can be put on sea as well, thereby reducing the number of times we are transporting the cargo. So if we see, so if you see, we have this one tank container which is on a road tank, on a chassis. Now the same container is moving on the rail, right, on the rail wagon. The same container can be put on the sea. So we are reducing the number of times the cargo is transferred from one equipment to the other. It's a one-size-fits-all kind of a product. In this product, there are multiple variants, like how a particular car model has many variants. The same way a tank container also has many variants, depends on what kind of product you are transporting. As we can see here, we have T11 tanks, which is used for standard, normal, hazardous and non-hazardous cargos. We have T14s, which is used for corrosive and highly flammable cargos. We have T20s, which is used for high pressure cargos. T22, which is new entrant recently in India, which is used for liquid bromine, right? Bromine, as we all know, very, very highly hazardous cargo. And this is a small tank you can see on the gray one, which has so much protection around it. It is a specialized ISO tank for bromine, but the frame is of the same dimension. So basically the same container can be transported on road, rail and sea. Again, we have T50, which is used for liquefied gases. We also have cement tanks now. As we have seen, a lot of cement companies are facing cargo loss, theft, proliferation, and so many issues are happening because right now the cement is transported via road and via rail in normal boxes. However, these tank containers have a dual facility. These tank containers, you can discharge the cement by gravity, by tipping the container, or you also have a pneumatic cement tank where you can put air into the cement and then the cement flows out like a liquid. Then of course we have T75 for LNG movement, and we also have T75 for helium movement. So depending on your requirement and depending on the type of cargo that you wish to transport, you can buy, rent, hire any of these kind of equipments and plan your logistics operation around these equipments. But here it's getting more and more interesting. Once you figure out that, okay, I want to use ISO tanks in my supply chain and in my logistics, even if you're convinced that ISO tanks is the right answer, the next question should be, how do you add them into your supply chain? Should you buy them? Should you lease them? Should you rent them? What should you do, right? Eventually you want to use them. In the last 3 years, because of geopolitical issues, trade wars, and so many global issues, we have seen that chemical companies are facing the test every month, every quarter. And then, therefore, it becomes more and more important for these chemical companies to be more agile and make sure that they are holding cash to fight these kind of issues. In that kind of an environment, owning a large fleet of tanks may be a non-core activity for chemical companies, where they would not like to invest their cash in owning these kind of equipments, but would like to have the flexibility to switch on and switch off as and when the business demands. And that is why leasing has now become a strategic tool. Earlier, leasing was a financial tool. How much money are you saving by not putting capital in the business, and how much money are you paying on leasing on a rental basis? But no longer it is a financial tool. It is a strategic tool. It is a strategy of how you switch on and switch off your supply chain. And when you lease, you ideally get 4 things. Point number 1, lower capital commitment. You have hundreds of crores, right? Why would you spend hundreds of crores in a non-core activity like supply chain? You would rather invest your crores into R&D, into technology, and into building your factories. Second is predictable availability. A good leasing partner would ideally ensure and predict what kind of seasons are coming up and what kind of containers would you require in the next quarter or next year, and plan that inventory in advance so that whenever you require, you can easily pick them up. Whenever you don't require, you can easily off-hire them. And that's the kind of flexibility you may get. Capacity aligned to demand, right? Chemical industry is never predictable. There is no predictability in our industry, at least in these kind of situations today. So what you want is capacity which is aligned to demand. If that is a peak season, you should be having the ability to scale up. If it is a lean season, you should have the ability to scale down your volumes. So ideally, you don't wish to carry idle assets. Imagine a situation where you are owning 100 or 200 of these and the season is lean. You park these assets somewhere, in a depot, and you are paying for that every day. And last, financial flexibility. As I mentioned, right, in a volatile market, you would like to have a war chest, because when things go wrong, cash is helpful. And in an industry where if you are holding cash, you can quickly change strategy, you can quickly change your suppliers, you can quickly change your customers, and you can quickly change your markets. And that is what the agility and that financial flexibility can bring to you. At ARCON, basically this is what we do. We own different types of ISO tank containers, we procure different types of ISO tank containers, and we allow all our customers to lease from us so that they can get all these benefits. Right. I will say this, that ISO tank leasing market in India was historically been dominated by European and American players, right? There is now a very credible India-based alternative, and that is what is ARCON. So to wrap up, logistics for liquids in India does not need an incremental improvement. It needs a complete structural shift in equipment, in operating models, and how we think about asset strategy, whether you wish to spend your money in building assets which are factories, people, technology, and R&D, or you want to build assets that are non-core. ISO tanks are exactly that shift in equipment. Leasing is that shift in asset strategy. And companies like ARCON are here to make it accessible for the Indian market. If any of this resonates with what you are dealing with your supply chain today, or what the challenges you are facing in your supply chains today, whether it is safety, whether it is flexibility, or whether it is just reducing the complexity in your supply chain, we are open and welcome for a conversation. You can find me during the break, or you can reach out to us. Thank you so much. All the best.